live with episode 7 of the Strength Shop podcast from beautiful Tyndall Barbell.
Tyndall Barbell. Yeah, baby.
And it's been a while.
It's been a while. You were a little sick last week there. We tried. We set everything up and no show.
No, I was just not feeling good after the Arnolds. I know Jackie Shevsky was saying she had a bit of a hiatus from the Strong Woman Chronicles as well. Same thing. She just said after the Arnold, I just didn't have it in me.
No brain. My body's been terrible since the Arnolds. Oh,
body-wise, I've been fine, but I don't know if I picked something up in the plane or what. But
yep,
not fun.
Not fun.
So,
I just got like a lingering nasal congestion. Like I'm coughing stuff up a little bit, but I don't feel bad, but I just feel like
I always
yucky.
get that this time of year, so it's kind of hard to tell if it's from the Arnold travel or if it's just due to something else.
I don't think it's allergy season. I don't think really.
I don't have allergies either.
Yeah, that's what I don't think I do either.
But this time of year, I don't know, seasonal chain and stuff, I just get stuffed up. So,
yeah.
Long story short, we apologize. We're back.
We apologize.
Well, I apologize
to our fans.
Gord did nothing wrong. I was the one who...
Yeah, I had everything set up. I was ready to go.
I dropped the ball.
Screw it, I'll do it myself.
That's my bad. But we're back. Back to training. Yeah. I mean, I'm 3.5 weeks out from Keystone right now. Local powerlifting meet. Some cash prize on the
Possibly
line.
moneymaker meet.
Possibly moneymaker meet. We'll see.
If all goes well.
If all goes well.
If all goes well with your shitty squats.
Yeah. Yeah, for those of you who didn't see, squatted 335 kilos, like 737 pounds, weird conversion.
Shameful.
And rookie move. I got pitched forward on it. Honestly, like, my legs feel strong enough for 765 right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's just that.
Well, you muscled through a bad position, so that tells me you're plenty strong enough. Like, it wasn't most people, once you're out of position on a 1 rep max PR, putting it down every time.
When I had a couple of people comment like, "Oh, like, is your back okay?" I'm like, my back's not the weak link.
No,
It's if I can load the Atlas stones that I load, and if I can carry the stuff I carry, it's like the back's not the weak link.
Yeah, you don't usually get a sore body, really? No. Like,
I'm usually
like a lingering
pretty okay.
Yeah, you're still young.
Yeah, I'm still young. I don't have a ton of aches.
You're not 44.
Yeah, not yet. But also, like I said, it was okay, but a little disappointing because the way I usually test is I'm testing bench tomorrow, see how that goes.
Why do you test 4 weeks out?
So I don't get a full tilt, but I get a lot out of my taper. A lot out of my taper. So usually my 18 to 21 days out kind of testing, anywhere between kind of like 21 to 30 days out.
Okay.
Just depending on kind of where it falls and how we're programming, how we're progressing. That usually ends up being my second attempt.
Okay.
And then we go in, open something I can hit on any day of the week.
Yep.
And then third attempt kind of...
Something strongman can't seem to learn.
Yeah. Well, the way that we do it is I'll have my opener as kind of a tree diagram. So then when I look at Guy off the platform, I give him a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Okay. And then he can kind of adjust from there.
Right.
So I'll open up, I'll go, yep, really good. We go to our next planned number, or it's like, bad, we'll pull it back a little bit.
Right.
And then for my third attempt, I'll kind of go like,
depending on bar speed
or like provincials last year, my second deadlift flew. I'm like, give me 30 more pounds. Right? Like, you crank it up, but it's quick and easy. We already have kind of a map of like what we're going to hit that day.
Everybody should. It's shocking to people that don't.
So
they're running looking for a chart. Like, what are you looking for a chart for?
It's important to me to have that number in mind. So when I go out there, I know, okay, if all goes smoothly, this will be roughly my second attempt, plus or minus 5 kilos, right? Yeah. So
I feel like that's a good.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the only way to do it. I don't know if somebody else can tell me a different way. I don't see one. I've
outperformed my training in every meet I've ever done.
Yep.
So I really can't complain. The temp selection has never been a problem when Guy's in my corner, so I'm expecting to put my best foot forward at Keystone. Maybe I go 9 for 9. If not, it's still going to be an improvement on last year because I'm 30 pounds, 40 pounds over my best squat at provincials. It's 4 weeks out still. So
that's all because of strongman.
Exactly. Just generally stronger and making it specific, but so it should be good. But it leaves me with that. You know when like you know you're kind of the conversation we've had with Shelby the whole last year, where it's like you're stronger than your body knows how to express.
Oh, 100%. Yep.
But I know how to express it, and then it's just you just have a bad technical day.
Yeah.
And so this morning I went in and threw 120 kilos on, just kind of like figure out, okay, like did I have it too high? And I think I just had it a little high on my back because I hit that 385 for 7 AMRAP last week on the bench.
Do you usually put your head down? I didn't look back at any other videos.
My thought is always neutral.
Yeah.
Neutral is
Because
fine.
you're very, very eyes down.
It was a
right
little
at the
bit.
floor.
That's usually
Yeah.
where it is. I tried to keep it, like,
It didn't
my
look
spine
wrong,
right now.
but it didn't look right. You know what I mean?
So what happened, I think, and I looked back at some of my other good squat videos, it was just a little bit higher on my back, and that's what kind of rolled forward on me a touch. And I think that just after that AMRAP last week, because I hit 385 for 7, and then 3 days later hit 430 for 2 doubles. And my chest was just super tight.
Yeah.
And I went in there, I really forced it down on my back this morning. And it felt better.
Yeah.
I worked up to like
Oh, that could be, yeah. Maybe your mobility wasn't there to
yeah, so I
get
worked
right
up
hand
to
position.
275 kilos, like 605, just beltless, sleeveless, just because I was like, okay, like this feels better.
Right.
And it moved as you would expect, beltless, sleeveless. 605 to move a day after maxing out.
Yep.
But it was smooth and I didn't topple at all.
Right.
So I think I've got it back. The last couple of weeks of squatting, it felt kind of strange.
Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah,
but
I think back squatting really like
Yeah,
a
but
time
I've got-
you threw it in randomly, sort of, no? Because
no,
it wasn't
I've
really
been
part of
doing
the...
it since December.
Okay.
I was doing it because I figured that the squat would help with the trap bar.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
did
Squats
okay,
always help.
so, yeah.
Yep. Front squats, back squats, any kind of squat.
Was I hit that 705 in like December?
Right.
So
And that was a PR then?
That was the first time over 700
Right.
officially. So
Yeah. So it's a pretty big jump for a year.
pretty big jump. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy with it. But again, it's just that like really, really. So, but I've
I
got
always said that, yeah.
Dan Hirschurgen's going to come out with me tomorrow on bench.
Okay. Who's that?
The super jacked 93 guy from Cornerstone.
Oh, okay.
Benches like 500 pounds.
Okay. Yep.
Just
I think I've heard
maxes
of
out
him, yeah.
every single day.
Just keep maxing out.
I
Yeah.
love that guy. He's awesome. So, but it's not fair because you haven't met him, but like this guy is. You meet those guys where it's like that's a genetic outlier in terms
Yeah.
of muscle mass.
Yeah.
His arms are absurd.
Yeah.
Like if I didn't know him and like knew that he was been that jacked for like a decade, because
Yeah.
his sister was a lifeguard and he was a lifeguard.
Right.
And his sister dated one of my water polo buddies.
Right.
So I've known Dan for a very long time.
Yeah.
And he's always been jacked.
He's always been jacked.
Yeah. So it's just like he's just that big.
That's like Jan. Jan's just got giant
He's just
arms.
huge.
He's just
huge.
giant arms.
Dan's like the softest spoken, nicest guy. He's like a very talented baker. Just like everyone loves him. I'm like, it's not fair. Like there has to be something bad about you.
Yeah.
It's like you're handsome. You've got nice smile.
You can
teeth,
bake
like,
goodies.
You're, big, you're jacked. You can bench 1 million pounds.
Yeah.
Like his deadlift is about the same as his bench. So I guess it's that. But like,
Is that, yeah.
you know, it's like it's not
That's those
fair.
bench guys they
He-
love.
He's a
They love
pilot,
benching, but that's all
he's
they
a
do.
pilot in the Air Force or something. I'm like, you're literally just Top Gun. This isn't fair. So yeah, he's
call
gonna
you
come
Tom
out and-
Cruise.
He's gonna come out and push me a little bit, and we usually have good sessions. going
Doing
back and
after work,
forth, so.
or
Yeah, I'm in a training course tomorrow, so I'm kinda
right, yeah.
off half the day. So I'll go before all the
Gonna sandbag it all
teenagers
day.
go. Yeah, pretty much. So it'll be good. That's fun. And then probably I'll hit a wagon wheel deadlift max or something because that seemed to work last time we did the powerlifting meet.
Okay.
Just max out from the wagon wheels and then
Yeah.
push the volume off the ground. And
Yeah,
then,
you know it's not an issue off the ground.
I'm not
so-
worried about off
yeah.
the ground. So just try to
Just
get
something to
that,
feel something and not get
yeah.
hurt. Yeah.
And also just to test for my grip set.
Okay.
Kind of see where that's fatigued at, and then where
Would
it's
you
gonna
go
peak in.
mixed grip? Just
I've pulled mixed grip for
no straps, right?
Yeah. I've pulled mixed grip for the last couple of years. I've dabbled with hook grip, but it's kind of I just
I
always
play
come
with
back
it a little
to,
bit, and it doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I've just I don't know. I like
It'd
to
be
get
nice,
out. I like
yeah.
to get out, get to the bar, and pull as fast as I can.
Yeah.
And the hook grip just takes that little bit of extra mental bandwidth.
Yeah.
I'm just like it's a second in the hole. I don't
In the
have to
lap,
be there.
yeah. Yep.
So, but it is what it is. So
Yeah, I should switch back and do a little mixed grip, but I gotta get to deadlifting from the floor again. But
Yeah,
my
that'd
back's
be-
been just awful this morning. We came out and did log, and I had EMOMs, 8 sets of 3 EMOM. It was torture, but my back was just like,
I haven't talked to Devin, but that's kind of ironic because I've got Shelby and Ryder doing the same thing.
yeah, it's just volume, death medleys on everything. Like,
Has he given you the time sets yet?
no,
Shelby's really mad at me for those time sets.
like you have to do it in a certain amount of time.
So no,
or-
well, I had her said, hey, for 10 minutes straight, you're gonna do sled drag into farmers.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, she was mad at me. Devin.
Devin, don't listen to this podcast.
Yeah, the other
Turn
one
it
I
off.
gave her was she's been sick too, so she hasn't actually gotten to do it yet. But I told her hack squat RDL 5 reps, 5 reps, 5 reps, 5 reps, 5 reps for 10 minutes straight.
Nice.
She doesn't get to do that one yet.
Yeah.
Because she's been sick, or so she tells me.
So back and forth between hack squats and RDLs.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I just want to play with it because it's like she doesn't have.
That's a muscular endurance.
Well, she doesn't have the. So with like my client Tyler in the Yukon there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's an officer, so he's got his cardio and his conditioning background.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, Ryder's just Ryder. I just do whatever with him.
You just send whatever
He
at
just
him,
keeps
he
getting
just does
stronger.
it.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just hilarious because Tyler will get feedback all the way down to his dumbbell curl RPE, and then Ryder he'll like walk up to me in the gym and be like, "Oh, by the way, I benched 20 pounds over program." I'm like, what? The other day,
Last week.
the other day. So I'm like, yeah, like, do your close grip around like this rep range. I look over and he's doing like 275 for sets of 8 on the close grip. I'm like, well, that's new. It doesn't tell me anything.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like just going off like, hey, like, how's it feeling? And he's like, it's good. And I'm like, is it actually good? Or are you telling me it's
So
good?
I guess they don't fill out a form and give it back to you. You just give them the program.
I give them the program and
do
they just
it.
text me the feedback.
Okay. Yeah.
So I just use WhatsApp.
Right.
I'm going to start transitioning over to the new Iron Image app slowly.
Okay.
Because I like the functionality of it.
Is
It's
that
like,
input data? Do they input data or you?
I haven't played around with it that much. My understanding is that I can send custom workouts and then they will fill in that custom workout with the data.
Yeah.
I still want them to send me.
Well, then it saves you
I
trying
want
to
to see what
write
kind
it
of
out.
messages there are.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Like I said, it's easier. Like honestly, I still just use WhatsApp and Excel.
Yeah.
Or Google Sheets, whichever one. It's easy. Hey, here's your program. Send me your feedback. Send me your videos. And then with the WhatsApp, it's all in that one contained spot.
Right.
I don't have to worry about anything. But like I said, it's in the interest of, being so heavily affiliated with Iron Image and coaching out of Iron Image. I'm going to start transitioning over to that app now that it's live and play with it. I just haven't had a chance to really sit down
because they're paying for it.
dial
So
into it. Exactly.
somebody's paying for it. So
Exactly.
Yep.
So
Yep.
That's
That's like the Train Heroic app that Devin uses. It's a paid app. He pays for it. I think he pays per client, like $7, he said, or something like that. But it's nice. I like it because I can quickly kick back to a week or two or pull all my workouts out and be like, oh, okay, I was using this weight for that and my notes for that. So I always have access to my history, like click of a button, which is nice. But yeah, it's expensive. So you gotta pass that charge on to the
One, there's
customer
like
too,
with
right?
me, he texts me my work. He WhatsApp messages me my workout the day of.
Yeah.
So he knows I lift at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
3:45, I get my workout.
That's what we get to. We go
Like
day by
clockwork.
day. Yeah, it drives Jocelyn crazy.
And we did that very early on because basically it's like sandbag. I dare you.
Yeah.
Like you can't look ahead and know what's coming. You got to go hard.
Yeah.
Right. So he gave me the.
And he gives you numbers all the time.
Oh yeah, he always prescribes everything, and I have the freedom to auto-regulate. I rarely do. If it's like a weird number and I just don't want to load the plates, I'll round up.
Right.
If he's like, "Oh, do deadlifts with 625," I'm like, "635 is easier."
That was this morning on my log. Last week was 75%, and this week was 60%. So I didn't really read it. I just looked at the rep scheme and the amount of reps, and I was like, oh, okay, we went up a rep, same amount of sets. So I start loading it up. I get to 25, whatever, another 25. I'm like, okay, this feels good. And then I look, I'm 2 sets in. Oh, it's supposed to be 60%. Whatever, let's do it. So we sent it, yeah.
Well, you know,
So
if you're-
60% of would have been 310.
Yeah, like where I will get really strict with it is like, so these last 3 weeks, there's no deviation from the plan. It's like, no, we're hitting exactly.
Oh,
what
no,
it
for
is.
sure. Once it's comp time, yeah.
Yeah, and then like I said, we'll just pull out the accessories as we go. So like a hack squat, I'm hitting 7 plates on the hack squat versus the 6.
Yeah, 3 weeks out, you're
But
not
2
getting any
weeks out,
stronger.
I'm
You're
not
just
doing
tuning out.
Exactly. You're just maintaining and pushing it. So
Feeling it.
just building that base to peak off of, right?
Muscle memory.
So now we're peaking in, it'll be good. But yeah, I like that little bit of freedom. I find it's beneficial but I had to earn that.
Yep.
Right, this is when I had
Oh,
to
for sure,
earn
trust,
where
yeah.
he's like, like if it feels good, add 10, 15 pounds, whatever. And
A lot of people, you can't tell them that because they'll just keep adding, and then it just destroys everything. It destroys the plan. 10 or 15 pounds could turn up to 10%, which could wreck the progression or wreck the purpose of the lift. You know
well,
what I
that's
mean?
like kind of my rule with beginner and novice lifters is like I don't use RPE with almost any of my clients.
Yeah. Because they don't know it yet.
I'd rather tell them, hey, leave 1 or 2 in the tank.
Yeah.
I just find that's a better way to communicate it.
Yeah. No, I like that. Yeah.
But where I find
The
RPE,
last one shouldn't be a grind.
There's that, but I like to have control over the progression,
Yep.
especially on the main comp movements. Like if you want to go and kill yourself in your belt squats, your hack squats, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I want to have control over how quickly we're progressing on something.
Right.
Because the last thing I want a client to do, and here's a personal anecdote, Tyler and I talked about this when I was on Iron Age there. But I screwed up my log prep going into nationals because I progressed too quickly and did too much volume at too heavy a weight. And I missed my peak and I
Right.
jammed my shoulder up.
Right.
So I'd rather say, hey, like, pull it back. Because
Yeah.
people forget that, like, as long as you're working over 75%, you're building strength.
Yeah.
That's strength work at that
Yep.
point. And, like, I will argue with anybody. It's like, oh, that's old, outdated. It's, you know, if you're still using the Soviet charts, like, you're behind the times. And it's like,
So somebody would argue
Give me-
75% wouldn't make
but
legs
no,
and
there are
work.
people out there who are like,
Yeah.
oh, if you're using like the Soviet rep scheme charts, like you're outdated and your coach doesn't know what he's doing. I'm like, well, then explain to me why I've gotten stronger for the last 10 years.
Yep.
Right? Everyone wants to be this undulating periodization and stuff, but it's like the old systems still work and they work just fine.
If it works for you. Yeah. Some
And
people
I
it might not
find
work
that for
maybe,
a lot
but
of people, they have a hard time gauging RPE and they end up not progressing over time the
Yep.
way they should because they feel really good on one day and they just send it. I'm like, well, if you feel really good, why not just carry that really good feeling through the rest of the week?
yeah.
And the
You'll
rest
feel
of the next week.
you'll feel really gooder next week
So
because now you've killed it, you've trashed your body, and now next week feels like shit. So now you went from you're 80% at an RPE 7 to you're 80% at an RPE 10 because you missed it. You know.
yeah, and that's where
I've done it.
that's what I said. But let's keep it slow. Let's progress. Let's move these reps well. And when those reps look easy,
Yep.
then we'll ramp it up.
Yeah.
we'll
It's like
ramp it
practice
up
makes
again.
perfect. The more reps you have at that specific weight, there's almost no question you're going to get stronger. Like you're just the confidence comes with, okay, I'm putting up 250 again today on the log. That's whatever. I look at that, I don't get stressed out. Whereas before when I looked at it, I was like, oh my God, I've only pressed this once in my life. Now it's like, whatever, throw it on. I don't care.
Yeah. When I think about people are always looking first to extend their top end, like, to me, I really like the idea of baseline. And actually, what Jocelyn shared today, that Donna Moore thing, was talking about, like, you have to be patient.
Oh yeah.
Its strength takes a long time.
Yeah. Strength takes a long time. Yeah. I like that one.
Let's put it this way. The way my numbers move and stuff, I thought I was going to deadlift 800 in, like, June at Westerns last year. Didn't happen. I still have not officially pulled 800 in a competition.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll change that in a few weeks. Depends how the grip is, right?
Yeah, buddy.
But the point is, like, it can take twice as long as you think.
Yep.
And it's taken me...
Especially when you're an already seasoned lifter. Newbie gains are different.
Newbie gains are different, and like I said, you'll pretty dramatically improve. But again, like, if you want to get strong, and I had this conversation with a junior lifter earlier today, where he's asking, "Oh, should I cut down to 93?" I'm like, "Well, where do you want to compete long term?" He goes, "Well, 105." I'm like, "Then compete at 105." Like,
Yep.
no one cares about
Like for
juniors.
strongman or for powerlifting?
Powerlifting.
Okay,
So,
yep.
but even strongman, it's like, just pick the weight class you'll long term be competitive in. Because frankly, no one cares about junior competitions.
Yeah.
Like, they're cool, and I'm very happy for you if
Yeah.
you achieve
Your mom and
something.
dad will be happy
Or
for
you
you.
look at the record books, like, it doesn't matter. Like, there's
Yeah.
that one kid, the British kid, just pulled 800, 400 kilos at like 19 years old.
Yeah.
So he's built to deadlift. Like, he's a taller guy, but long arms and all that. And it's like, that's incredible. That is absolutely remarkable to be pulling that kind of weight.
Yeah.
That said, I've seen a lot of guys come up and deadlift big numbers when they're young, and then in 10 years they're nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Well, then you pound
very
800 for 10
impressive.
years. That's hard on the body.
but the other thing too is
Yeah.
like, there's a lot of lifters out there pulling 400 kilos.
Yeah.
So it's like, now if in 10
Well, you
years
look
time,
at, like I've been watching some of the old strongman, like Fortissimus and that from 2008, 2009. They're putting up a 200-pound dumbbell.
yeah.
It's the run starts at a 180-pound dumbbell. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I can do that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm banging on the door 180, 190 dumbbell. And
Well,
I'm
the
like,
sport of
I'm not a
dumbbells,
big
right?
dude. You know what I mean? And and the top dumbbell on a 5 dumbbell run was 225 or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's not even, 225 is not even in a dumbbell run anymore.
Well, and that's where, like, again, to me, the most incredible lifter of the modern era, powerlifting wise, is John Hack, because he's been competitive for almost a decade now.
Yeah.
Because it was 2016, it was him and Gibbs.
Right.
And actually, fun fact, so I was at the
Where
Arnold.
is Gibbs? Is he gone now? He just
I think
disappeared.
He injured
Yeah.
himself and he
Same
disappeared.
thing, yeah.
But at the Arnold, I was talking to John. I'm like, I just gotta say, like, I think my favorite meet of yours is still that battle. He's like, honestly, man, that's still my favorite too.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Battling
no
is
one's,
fun. When
no
you're
one's
battling,
pushed him since,
yeah.
right? It's just been him doing his thing.
Yeah.
But it's like he's consistently improved.
Yep.
And I say this to say, like, this kid who just pulled 400 kilos, insanely impressive.
Yep.
But is he going to pull 1,000 in 10 years' time?
Yep.
That's what I'm curious to see. I mean, like Ray Williams, he did that. He squatted 1,000 pounds just casually last week, and it's like,
Yep.
dude, you've been squatting 1,000 pounds for 10 years
10
now.
years,
Like, what
yeah.
the heck is going
Yeah.
on?
Yeah, you can rewind it to
he's
the
doing
first
a
1,000.
PhD or something.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, like, come on. The biggest tragedy to me is that he didn't have another attempt to squat 500 that one year.
Right.
Or he squatted like 480 or 485
Yeah,
or something like
third
that.
attempt.
490. He squatted 490.
Yeah.
It's
That's one where the
flew.
IPF should just go, just do it.
Just do
Just
it.
do
Just
it.
squat 500.
Yeah, we don't care.
'Cause, like,
does anybody in this room care? No.
yeah.
We want to
'Cause,
see
like,
it, yeah.
well, man, that's the most impressive squat of all time, hands down. I
Yeah.
don't care about your 4 times body weight or whatever.
Yeah.
That is the most impressive
Oh,
squat
for
of
sure.
all time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just interesting. So it's like when you look at training, like I like the baseline, and like I said with Donna Moore, what she's saying is like it's patience and it's understanding that it's going to take longer than you think.
Oh, yeah.
So like don't be in such a rush. Like I know that right now, any given day of the week, I could probably walk into a gym, squat 315 kilos to 700 pounds, bench 450. I mean, I benched 450 the day after the Arnold at West
Yeah.
Side. I could probably pull 720, 730 on any given day,
Yeah.
but I don't have to.
Yeah.
Right? That would be like an RPE 9 pull for me.
Yep.
I don't feel like I have to go in and hit anywhere near that number to grow.
Right.
But I know that that's my baseline. It's like, yep, if I walk in the gym, that's what I'd hit.
Yeah.
So I base it on like my openers. I'm like, okay,
Well,
what
if
is
you
my
pound it
absolute
around
worst?
if you pound around that area too long, you're just going to break. And you're not going to get stronger because now you're off 3, 4, 5 months broken. You know what I mean? If you know when to peak and when to pull back, that's how you're going to keep growing. Yeah.
Have you seen this trend? I mean, you're online less than I am, but there's a subset of like 19 to 24-year-olds
Okay.
who are like the science-based whatever. They're like, oh, you should never really do reps over 8 because then after that gets really fatiguing. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, that's fair, but it's like, but also come do my workout,
Yep.
then tell me you want to go and do lateral raises to 6, 8 reps.
Yeah.
Your shoulders are going to hurt. They're going to blow up.
Yeah.
I like my lightweight. It hurts way more to do
Yeah.
higher reps, but my joints like it more.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it's just like, to be 19 again.
Yeah.
And it's like, this kid's like, imagine if Jay
Well, if
Cutler,
you- yeah.
imagine if Jay Cutler trained with more science-based principles, how much better he'd be. It's like, yes, imagine how much better Jay Cutler
Yeah,
would be.
I think you can leave that one
And
alone.
it's like,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
but it's
just
also
leave that
too,
one
like you
alone.
watch Jay and it's like, the guy trained perfectly.
Yeah.
Phenomenal training.
Yeah.
Like the old footage of him is like,
Yeah,
if
he
you want to
didn't,
learn
he
how to do
didn't
a hack
stop
squat,
because of injuries. Like, he just stopped because he
and
was
he's
just
still
done.
healthy. He was
Yeah.
just done.
He's still
so
jacked.
it's like, to me, that's a goal of how to train. But yeah, I just found that funny where it's like, oh, do 6 to 8 reps. I'm like, you'll die if
Yeah.
you're in strength sports. If you're a bodybuilder,
That's
maybe you can get
exactly
away
it.
with
If they're focused on one rep, if they're focused on a 1 rep in 3 events or bodybuilding or whatever, like even bodybuilding, usually they don't go heavy. You know what I mean? A lot of big bodybuilders that look like they could bench 700 pounds, bench 350. You know, they're just not tuned for strength because they don't have to. But throw them in a death medley. Let me know how you do. You're gassed in the first event, but your lateral raises are they're so good.
I still maintain that volume is king.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah,
because you have to get the work in. The more work you can do, the bigger base you have.
yeah.
And again,
It's
like,
humbling too.
You ever watch Lee Priest train?
Probably.
He didn't
yeah.
take anything to failure. He'd be like talking mid-set and just
Yeah,
stop.
just keep
and it's
going.
like, but like he just did so much.
Yeah.
Right? Like, well, it's different.
Yeah.
But you watch old clips of Arnold, it's like there were sets he took to failure, but like if you're training 5 hours a day, not every single set is taken to
Yeah,
failure.
yeah.
So it's like, to me, I'm like, look, volume is still king. You can
Yeah.
make up for intensity with volume,
Yeah.
and you can do the same thing with strength.
Yeah.
And if you build that base and then you push the intensity where you can, perfect.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah. Well, that's where we're at. We're pushing volume now and workload. So
Yeah.
my yoke to farmers this weekend was 3 sets of yoke at 120 feet, 30 seconds rest, 30 or 60 seconds rest, and then into farmers for 120 feet. I was like, oh yeah, right on. I'll hit 500. I'll be fast with 500, no big deal. And then I'll go into 250 farmers and whatever, no big deal. First set I hit 450. I took it. I was fast, but it was hard. And then I waited my whatever. I jumped the rest timer by 15 seconds. I'm like, okay, let's go. I grabbed 200 on the farmers. I ripped it. I was still fast, but man, was I gassed. It was just me and Michelle, and I'm sitting there. I'm going, Michelle, is that back door open? She's like, yep. I'm like, okay, boom. I was gone out back puking. I'm just like, I heard the door click behind me. It was pretty chilly out there. I'm dry heaving away. My eyes are, I'm just crying out there, dry heaving. And I'm like, I sure hope she comes and opens that door because I'm going to have to walk around the whole building.
Oh, I've done that too. It's not a.
And I had 2 more sets yet left. And I'm like, hey, I'm not hitting 500 and 250's out of the question. Grip wasn't a problem. It was just hard work.
But again, that's where it's like, you have to. So, like, for example, let's say like I think the farmer's walk to sled pull and I gave Shelby. She's been doing like 40 or 60 pound kettlebells and she got 2 plates on the sled.
Right.
I've watched Shelby pull 5 plates on the sled.
Yeah.
But for 10 minutes straight.
Yeah.
No. And it's like at that point, it's understanding what the block is trying to do.
Yeah.
Right? You're not trying to get crazy strong in this block. You're building that base.
Oh yeah, you're getting your heart rate up,
then go
your
on.
GPP up.
Yeah, and it's periodization. It's been around for 50 years. It's nothing new, but people just seem to have I have to go hard all the time. It's like, well, you can only go so hard.
Yeah.
On that kind of work, right? You have to pace yourself.
Well, then I did that, and then I was supposed to do 200-foot sled drags. 200 feet. I did 2. I had 2 plates. Yeah, I think I only had 2 plates on the sled, and I was like, oh, whatever, I'll start here. I did 180 or 150, and I could not walk. My legs were pumped up so hard, I had veins popping out of my quads. I'm like,
that's impressive because you're fat now.
I know. I'm so fat.
What are you up to?
I got another.
What are you up to now?
I don't know. I'm scared to get on the scale.
Oh, okay.
Should be 242,
So
243.
the bulk's going good.
Oh yeah. The bulk's going.
Was
good.
your gaining weight into Western Canada Strongest Master?
Yeah. I'll gain some.
is-
I can tune my weight pretty good. I've been up and down.
So does that.
I think 10. It's in June.
Okay, 10 weeks out.
Yeah, 10 or 12,
That's not
10 or
too bad,
11,
though.
yeah. But I've always been good at losing weight and gaining weight. Like, I've been up and down. I was showing somebody my belt the other day, and I have, like, between the top hole and the bottom hole, I've been up and down that belt so many times.
couple
You know what I mean?
times.
So, for me, I'm not afraid to get a bit fat right now, and then I can cut it off. Like, it's
Yeah,
not ideal to
that's
be fat for
kinda-
summer, but I don't like being fat for summer. But I'll try it on. It'll be funny. I can make jokes. For me, it's okay.
I'm too white for the beach, so I don't really.
Well, it was funny. I went to Cairo today, and like my back is. I got a couple stories about my back, but whatever. It was bad, and she's like, "Okay, we got to do something different." So she's like, "Hey, lift yourself up." I'm face down in the bed. Lift yourself up a bit. I'm like, "Okay, I don't know what's going on." And then all of a sudden, the bottom drops out of the bed, like the belly part, and I'm like, "Oh, this is sweet." My stomach hung into the bed. And I'm like, oh man, I need my bed at home like this so I can lay flat. She's like, yeah, I usually use this for the pregnant women. I'm like, oh, you didn't just say that. We had a good laugh. I'm like, wow, dude, did you just say that? She's like, I didn't mean it. I'm like, you just said it.
She did say it, but also
said it.
she meant it.
She meant it, yeah. It felt good though, to press my back in,
Yeah.
like in that back position or whatever.
It just feels nice.
It felt nice, yeah.
Yeah. I haven't been to Cairo in years because like I'm of the opinion it's gypsy witch magic, but it does feel good.
Yeah.
It does feel. I just
Well,
can't
for me,
justify
my
paying
hips,
for
yeah,
it.
my hips go out from my leg being shorter from my ACL surgery. My leg doesn't fully straighten,
Right.
so I'm walking technically on a slightly shorter leg all the time.
Right.
So,
Which construction did you have? You have the pig down?
no, I just had they took my hamstring and pulled it through. Like
Oh,
they
because
just
you have the
disconnected
same.
it from
You
my
have
inner
the same
thigh.
one that Ron Caden has.
I think, yeah,
Okay.
that seems like but they use that tendon. The fixation point is the same on the top, and then they drill a hole through your femur and your tibia, feed it through with a string there, and staple it to your.
Oh, okay.
Staple
No,
it
I
to your
couldn't
shin.
remember which one you had. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
But the meniscus was so messed up in my knee that my knee straightens more than it did, But he said too, he's like, it's probably not going to straighten. So one of my rehab things was put plates on my knee and force it straight. I was doing that on my rehab, and once in a while it would pop, and I'm like, I tore my ACL off for sure.
We're just gonna tie your leg to a plank and just ratchet strap it down slowly.
Yeah, I'll just walk peg legged for a week, and we'll get that sucker straight.
Right.
And stuff was popping in there, and I'm like, dude, I'm pretty sure it tore off. He's like, no, it's scar tissue. I'm like, that was a very, very disconcerting feeling.
It's a big scar. It's some damage, man.
Yeah,
but
there was some damage in there. Well, then another thing, this morning my back was all janky. I did my log, and I couldn't finish my workout. I couldn't even barely walk. I'm like, I'm going to the hot tub. So I set out to the house to go in the hot tub. That's no big deal. I sit in the hot tub. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling good. I kind of back and forth in the cold tub a little bit there. I'm like, okay, it settled down. All of a sudden, I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm like, I'll just get a little A535 on my back before I go to work. A535 on your back after you've been in the hot tub and your pores are all opened up was the most excruciating thing I've had in I was freaking out, grabbing cold towels, putting cold towels on my back. I'm like, no.
That was not your smartest play.
No, I will never do that again. That was terrible. Like,
of all the dumb things,
that was a dumb
probably
one.
the dumbest thing. Wow.
Yeah, I certainly I learned a very valuable lesson today.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I smell like A535.
A535 is amazing though, and Canadian.
Is it really? No tariffs?
Yeah, Canadian
Nice.
product. So, yeah, I was surprised to learn that, but apparently it is the case. So, but yeah, it's it's interesting because I know. Let's see, I got Keystone coming around, and then right after that we got Tolstoy.
Yep.
Unfortunately, Tyler was telling me they're going to have to merge the 120s and the opens.
How many opens are there?
2.
Would that
Jeremy and Nate.
Oh.
Because Brian's
Bushi?
still out from his hernia surgery. He's still recovering. Bushi, he's Bushi.
He's bougie. He'll pop back next year.
Yeah, he'll show up next year.
Or he'll just show up that day with a dart in his mouth.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows
I love
that
Bushi.
guy? He's such a good dude, but you just never know what he's going to do. So we'll see. But basically,
Well, at least there's competition. Tyler's a strong guy.
Yeah. So then the 2 120s are both my athletes. So
Yeah.
that was kind of funny. But Tyler messages me and he's like, "Do you mind asking your boys if they want to compete open?" And you got your flashlight on there, right?
Yeah, my flashlight on there.
And I was like, "Well, they're both strong enough."
Yeah.
The only thing really just be, Blaine used to be a very big presser. It's just getting him back to it because he's been on his bodybuilding arc for a couple of years or whatever.
Because he had some injuries, I think, when he was coaching
some-
with Devin.
He had some injuries. I think it was a little longer than that.
Or was it
It's been 2 or 3 years now.
Yeah.
So I think he had a 300 log at one point or another.
Okay.
That's what he told me. But
Yep.
he's getting back very quickly. Tyler, same thing as I was, powerlifter. He's just, the overhead press is coming slowly. He's making very strong progress, especially since he's been up north. His pressing seems to be just exploding. The deadlift, not worried about for either of them.
Yeah, what's the deadlift?
Because the open men's deadlift opens at what, 450?
550.
550.
Well, that's ascending too. So at 550 with 50-pound jumps from a 15-inch pick.
Tyler's a 300-kilo puller from the floor.
Right.
I'm not worried about him.
Yeah. Is he okay with elevated? Some people elevated screws him up.
He's been fine.
Yeah.
I haven't really had a problem. And he's been training elevated, so I'm not that worried about it.
Nice.
Plus, we still have a whole other block before we even have to think about tapering down, right?
Yeah,
we have
yeah.
6-7 weeks still, so we're okay.
Yeah.
And then Blaine's deadlift is coming back up really, really well.
Nice.
So he'll do really well.
Yep.
And then it'll just be a matter of the medleys and Tyler.
Yeah, what do they got? They got a max weight sandbag throw, the denier carry.
Made his own throwing sandbag.
Okay.
Out of duct tape.
Nice.
The whole thing is duct tape.
Yeah.
It is the jankiest thing I have ever seen in my entire life.
That's funny. What kind of weight did he get in it?
I don't know. I don't even know if he's weighted. But
Just whatever. It's got sand in it.
It is just the
Throw it higher.
jankiest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
That's funny.
But
We get spoiled when we have all these fancy bags.
yeah, that's why I've had everyone doing. I basically have split into complexes. I don't want guys training that Haviland medley too far out.
Right.
So I've been having to do farmer's carries and sandbag to shoulder and sandbag carries the other side.
Right.
And then now that we're in the final block here, I'll start getting them to merge the two together and work on their technique.
Right.
But their strength on each implement is well above where we need to be. So now it'll just be a matter of putting them together.
Yeah, getting that pick, I think, will be just the hardest part. Keeping the balance and being able to squat to grab it and not the want to bend over will be there. You know what I mean?
That's going to be the thing. They're going to want to just kind of go boop.
I'll just grab it, yeah. Or side bend.
But
Side bending would
with
be
the
awful.
sandbag on one side, it kind of just might balance you out.
Yeah.
So if you can hold it, then why not?
Garrett was doing it, I don't know, yesterday or today, and it looked like he was having a good time with it.
Garrett usually figures things out pretty well.
Yeah, he's a bit of
he knows what and he's not afraid to bounce ideas off you. So
no,
he'll,
he bounces ideas off me all day, every day.
Yes. Hey, I learned.
Love you, Garrett.
So, great dude. He hasn't been tagging us as much lately. You still get 2 Garrett.
We've
been inactive. We've lost him.
All he's been doing, we gotta get
He's
back
just
going
running.
again.
He's a marathon runner now.
10Ks,
5Ks,
and singing, karaoke, and marathon running.
I do karaoke with Garrett.
Yeah,
We good times.
it's just that he sucks.
Yes.
I mean,
It makes it way funnier.
than that, he
Way funnier. Not everyone can sing like you can, Gord.
because what the Open's got 250 and 225, 250 sandbag and 225 farmer, which isn't bad at all.
It's not terrible at all.
It'll probably be his Bartos handles, I guess. Probably pretty low pick.
I'm not sure. I think Tyler got top load ones. I'm not sure if they were Bartos.
Well, he's always had the Bartos ones.
No, he got new ones. He got
Okay,
new top
I'm just
load
saying he's
handles.
had. That's the one that he had before.
Okay, I'm not sure if those are the ones he's using. I'm also
Okay.
not sure. I think it's a higher pick, but I'm not. I haven't
Higher
seen
pick would
his
be
new-
nice for
I
that.
haven't seen his new
A lower
handles.
pick would be more
Diabolical.
ignorant. Yeah.
Well, apparently, I think Thrones was involved in designing that one, so
Okay.
we'll see what kind of mood he was in that day.
Yeah. We'll get him some nice ones. If you want some custom ones super low, hit me up, bro.
Yeah, I'm excited for those. Keep those on the wraps.
Oh,
we'll,
yeah.
We'll reveal them. We'll have them up on your nice jerk blocks back here. We'll just have them in the background.
Yeah, we got to get those cleaned up.
Yeah, that'll happen. But
We got a surprise in the works.
yes, we gotta build our log this summer.
Yeah.
That's one
I
thing.
keep
After
thinking about that,
pressing on that Slater log, we gotta figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out somehow. Just make a giant lathe.
We will.
Just a V8 lathe.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We'll get it spinning 400
Yeah,
RPM.
there we go. I love it.
It'll fly apart in my
You
shop.
remember the old the Top Gear V8 blender?
No.
You've never seen it?
I just watched Top Gear in and out.
They
Yeah.
took a Corvette 6.2 V8
Yeah.
and attached it to a blender
Nice.
and blended
Incinerated
up.
food.
It was, they put in
Chicken shakes.
beef bones,
Oh.
Bovril, bricks. They drank it on air.
Bricks. Oh, sick.
The manly smoothie.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
funny.
horrifying. But, yeah, same idea. We'll just get a V8 lathe. It'd be perfect. Get a nice big Slater log.
Yeah.
but-
Do you got any other athletes in there for Tolstoy? Ryder.
Ryder's doing it. It'll probably
What's he going to go 105, I guess, eh?
is doing it 105, but he'll probably just do that, and then we'll probably just prep him for OSG.
Right. I was just laughing about the weights because it's like U80 gets a 225 axle. U80 is 176 pounds. It's like a 50 pounds over body weight.
So I'm trying to think though, because is Emmanuel the only one in U80? Because I don't think Garrett's cutting down this year.
He says he is, yeah. That's what his goal is,
So
to get to U80.
okay, but so
yeah.
either way,
And,
but to be fair,
and Bougie, yeah.
both those guys can handle that weight.
They can, yeah.
I think.
But it's ignorant. That's an ignorant. That's just a heavy axle
a
for that
little,
size.
It's a little bit.
Because it goes up and up. Okay, so then U90
I
is
will also
235.
say, I'm gonna have to kind of take your word on this because I'm just too new to the sport to really know.
Okay.
Right? Like if you told me like for open men's, like at Westerns, it's like, 320 as a log for reps. I'm like, okay, that's just what it is.
Yeah.
Well, no one says, oh, that's heavy. It's like, oh, that's just what pros do.
Yeah.
It's 320
Yeah.
for reps. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So you could just tell me, oh, U80s do 225 for reps. And be like, okay.
Yeah.
But I just don't know what the standard is.
Yeah,
so-
no, I'm just laughing
But
because
taking your
for
word
me,
on
I
it.
was just looking at it as U80 gets 225. Okay, that's 50 pounds over body weight. 50 pounds. It's
heavy.
50 pounds over your body
That's
weight.
heavy. I can't do that.
Exactly. That's what I mean. And then U90 is 200 pounds, so that's 235. So they're 35 pounds over body weight, ish. Right? What's U90 is like 198.
Yeah, right.
I'd have to math it out, but it's around there. And then 105 is 230 pound athlete gets a 245 pound log, so they're only 15 pounds over body weight. So they're getting closer. Yeah.
So Ryder can hit that.
Oh, for sure. That's a heavy
No,
axle.
he's been hitting
I've
it
missed
for-
I've missed that. Yeah.
It's
In competition at 105. And then the 120s get 255. So they get 10 pounds
not
less.
anymore.
Well, they get 10 pounds less.
Now they get
And then the open guys get 265. So you got a 300.
the
What's
one-
Jeremy? 320? 310?
I don't know.
So he gets a 40 some pound less than body weight. I don't know, man.
Yeah. I have to wonder if I have to wonder if Tyler made those weights based on.
Well, Tyler didn't make those weights. Those weights are just standard weights we've always used. That's like
Seriously?
105 axle is always 245. But Devin was like always notorious for heavy shows. You go do this show in Saskatchewan, that U80 is 180 pound log or 180 pound axle.
I will say though too is like from a pushing our guys standpoint, I don't mind it because we know Garrett and Bougie can hit those weights.
Oh yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
or we're gonna send better athletes to nationals.
Oh no,
would be
I'm
the
not.
assumption.
I just laugh. I was just sitting
no,
there
it
looking
is
at it and
crazy
laughing.
just
I'm
be
not
like-
saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying. You know what I mean?
We're-
Yeah. I'm like, hey, wait. Let's give the open athletes 50 pounds over their body weight. No? Oh no. The rules change and you get bigger, right?
Who initially sat down
Yeah.
10 years ago and went,
Yeah.
this seems
This
long.
is just what it is. So then every year we just stamp it on, we slap it on.
Well, the incentive is for people to get heavier.
Oh yeah.
That's the whole point. You're trying to get people
right,
to bulk up.
Get fat. See?
Yeah, get
I'm on it.
fatter. Yeah, that way you're not in the U80s.
Yeah. That was just a giggle point there. I'm like, we got
is
to
the
talk about
axle
that.
too high or is your body weight too low?
Maybe your body weight's too low. Maybe that's the issue.
I'm
But
trying to
yeah,
think
other than that, the weights are fine. Like,
trying to think of a 265 pound manual now.
yeah, be just a bruiser, either fat or just jacked. Which one? Either.
I mean, either way, it's ridiculous to think about.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, just jacked, 5 feet tall and 260
5
pounds
feet
jacked.
across. He's already a jacked dude too.
Yeah.
Like, just trying to fill that out.
Well, there's not a big gap in the deadlift either. So open is 550, starting at 550, 50-pound jumps, and then the U80s are start at 475. 475 is triple body weight or more.
I do think the jumps are a little heavy, just because that event. So they're doing it like the way that Magnus was.
Yeah.
So it's like wrap you out the plates, wrap you out the plates.
Yeah.
The only thing I have is that you're gonna have a lot of ties potentially.
Yeah. Yeah, it might have been better to I don't know what the solution is there to go 25s, peel them off 45s. That's still a big
No,
jump.
you're probably adding 25s.
Yeah. But 10s is too small of a jump.
Yeah, because you run out of plates on the block.
You run out of plates, yeah, you're kind
So
of
it's kind of
you're in a
either
position.
way
You're in a bad
screwed.
position, yeah. It's a
it's
fun
not
event
that
because
hard
it's
to
different.
it's
Because
fun.
we always do
But I'm trying to think now.
axle for
because-
reps.
Okay, I'm trying to think. Let's just say the openings. I'm familiar with those guys. Like Jeremy will win the event.
Yep.
Tyler will finish second.
Yep. And what do you think they'll hit from 15? I don't know either. Yeah.
I don't know.
Be nice to see a 700.
Because also too,
pound
it's
pull.
Tolstoy. I don't know. I think they could get up to 700.
Yeah.
I don't know what Nate's deadlift has been like, honestly.
I think he's been having some injury issues there, but he's
Nate,
not where he
I
was
love
last
you,
year
Nate,
for sure.
I love you, but you're probably coming in last in that event. Just based on what I've seen, I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know. I could be wrong. But I
Yeah,
don't know.
no, who knows? Yeah, but he's not 100% right now for sure.
No, but Jeremy walks away with this show.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah,
is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't really know the rest of who's entered, honestly, other than I only know that weight division because Tyler and I had the conversation.
yeah. I don't know too many other people. I don't know if he has
I
really
don't know.
mentioned any
I thought
names.
Jesse Morrison said he was gonna.
Jesse's
sign
105.
up.
Yeah.
He's doing 105.
Jesse, yeah, he'll pull. Where are they starting? 105 starts at 475 with 50-pound jumps. He went up to, what did he post the other day? He was up to 6. He was well into the 6s, high 6s. Yeah.
I'm bad at remembering the numbers.
Yeah.
Also, too, those Brickhouse guys just load plates so terribly that I can never tell what they have.
Yeah, it's just plates.
He's like,
Yeah.
it's a free for all in there. There's plates everywhere. I'm like, you guys have monogram dumbbells, and you're telling me you can't afford plates that everyone can load.
Just start
properly?
selling them like in groups and just buy the same thing. You know what I mean? Buck a pound, Fitness Depot.
Oh, it's funny. It's like Paul, I know we know each other. Buy some plates so the guys can stop.
You can sell the
tormenting me.
plates you have for $1 a pound and buy new ones for $1 a pound that match.
And get some deadlift blocks so Jesse's not using calibrated plates as deadlift blocks. Like, come on, Paul. I know you can afford it. I know you can afford some 2x4s. It's not that hard.
Jesse's gonna smash that axle though. 245. He can.
Yeah, his axle's looking ridiculous.
Yeah, he can like go straight from the floor to the belly to the shoulder and up without stopping. Boom,
He's
boom, boom.
gotten
See you later.
very good. So I know he was working with Cole.
Right. That's the Olympic coach that Tyler brings in.
Shelby and him used to play music together, actually.
Okay.
So back in her Shelby used to sing.
Maybe Shelby can still sing once I play guitar there.
Well, Oh Canada and Manitoba's strongest man and woman.
I won't be ready. I'll sing a cappella.
You can be ready. Yeah,
I could try.
There you go.
As long as it's no C chord. That C chord.
Look, you got a little keyboard.
Yeah, synthesizer.
But yeah, so apparently Shelby knows him. But so he was working with Jesse. I'm not sure who Jesse's with right now because he was with Sam Beliveau for a while.
I think he's just self-coaching right now.
And then he was with, I don't know if he was with Matt or if they were just doing stuff together. Cole Matt Vincent, I think it's Amaranth Strength is his company.
Okay.
Good dude, knows his stuff, but he's got the Olympic lifting background.
Right.
He works with one of my brother's friends, Skylar Park, who's a Olympian in Taekwondo.
Okay.
But so he was working with Jesse, my understanding is pretty intensively
Yep.
over the off season to really get his Olympic lifting up.
Yep.
I know Jesse came out and deadlifted with me, and I had to kind of break him out of the fact that you don't deadlift like an Olympic lifter. That's why
Yeah,
he
the
was
squat
supposed-
deadlift.
You remember he used to hitch like horribly
Oh, yeah.
all the time?
Yeah.
I told him, I was like, well, because you're pulling it like you're going to clean it. Are you
Yeah.
going to clean 600 pounds? He's
Yeah.
like, well, no. I was like, then don't pull it like you're going to clean it.
Yeah. No,
And
his form is
it got a
so good,
lot
yeah.
better. It's gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
So the time he took off seems to have worked.
Yep.
I know that it was kind of his intention was to take a full year off and then come back in.
Yep.
So he's looking strong.
Yep.
There's
He'll be the best
couple
105, I think, in Manitoba this year.
I think so.
If somebody else is out there wants to prove better, hey, let's do it.
We'll see if Pat decides to get off his ass.
Yeah, he's a busy man. Sending
No, he's
Snapchats from the
not.
couch
From Mexico.
from Mexico.
He's like, he sends me a picture there.
He makes his kids clean the driveway. His oldest
Oh,
son's
hey,
running
hey.
a skid steer.
Hey,
I make
as
my
you
kids
should.
clean. Yeah, that's true.
As you
Yeah.
should.
If
That's
they
the
can
whole
run a
point
skid
of
steer.
having children. Yeah. They're old enough to drive a skid steer. You
Yeah.
don't drive the skid steer.
Well, they're not. He's not old enough. He's certainly not old enough.
How old is he?
Like 8,
He's old
9.
enough. He's old enough.
Yeah.
That's a farm kid. A farm
Yeah,
kid.
100%.
So,
What could possibly go wrong?
What did you? So Pat.
They're the
sent
same
me
height.
Pat had sent. True. Well, because Pat had sent me a snap maybe a month ago, 2 months ago. Because I guess he was back in the training, he had a pump, and he's like, "Oh, I'm looking huge, whatever." And I'm like, "Oh man,
198
he's
pounds.
looking massive, but he's like 93 kilos." Like, what? Like,
Yeah.
he's lost weight. It's just
Yeah.
the guy's just so jacked.
It's adolescent Pat.
But we'll see. I mean, like the strength it's Pat.
Yeah.
Right, like if he wants,
Oh, his
it, he'll
strength's
come
always
back.
there, yeah.
So we'll see. Because if he comes back,
He was a
is-
monster at U90,
Yeah,
like-
he's the 105.
Yeah.
But if he comes back,
Oh yeah,
he's the 105. Just
he's an
plain and
international
simple.
105. Yep.
Yes, I agree. Listen, Ryder will have to adjust.
Yeah.
He's been with the axle. It's been a learning curve because, I mean,
Well, it's technical. It's one of the
So-
most technical movements you can do.
it is.
Yeah.
He doesn't make it technical. So I had to,
Like his dumbbell
I
in
had
Tolstoy last
no,
year.
I had to walk in and stop him the other day because I think I had him doing triples at 215 or something.
Yeah.
He was just double overhanding it, full cleaning it to the rack and then pressing it. I'm like,
Yeah.
Ryder,
This is great, but this is gonna
amazing,
stop. Yeah, this is
but-
gonna stop. Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna have to change this. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I just forget how stupid
I could just picture him looking at you.
Huh? Yeah. Well, but that's the thing too is like because he's so strong, I just forget that he doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm like, no, like, to tell you what, I had to explain to him what a 5 rep max was. So I told him I was like,
I believe it.
Work up to a 3 rep max over like 3 to 5 sets, kind of like just accelerating. He was tired that day, so it only took 2 sets. So he hit like a true 3 rep max grinder on a bench. Okay. He's like, so like, what should I go to now? I'm like, that's
What do you mean?
it.
That's it. Yeah.
He's like,
What do you
But
mean?
it says 3 to 5 sets. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad I was here because like, he would have just crushed himself going
Yeah.
up. I'm like,
Put 10 more pounds on.
I'm like 3 rep max. That's the most you were doing. Buddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
That's funny.
but I mean, I think even I remember that set. He had like 330 or something stupid like that.
Right.
It's like, holy crap, kid.
That's insane.
Yeah, he's just so stupidly strong. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's going to be a learning curve for him to get the technical stuff down. That's probably, like I said, I'll probably bench him until OSG.
Right.
Just because we got work to do.
Yeah,
Same thing. He doesn't have an athletic background, so it's like, we got to get you conditioned now.
Yeah.
And I mean, to be fair, like,
Yeah, I guess he
boy.
has an OSG invite from Nationals.
Yep.
Yep. Nice.
So that's
For
fun.
as a junior or
As a junior.
'Cause
I
how
think
old
they
is
go
he?
19.
Yeah, I think so.
It's U19 at OSG. I think they do that intentionally to let people age into it.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. From
I told him,
19
I was
to-
like,
that first step into 20 years old, there's a slap in the teeth.
well, and I told him, I said, I'm like, this is realistically the strongest you're ever going to feel.
Yep.
because you're
when you're around others. Yeah.
Yeah.
For
So
sure.
I'm like, so let's go get it. Like and also too, just for the experience of being to OSG.
Yeah.
Like, hey, look, decide if this is something you want to continue to be a part of down the line.
Yep.
Because I do think that he has potential to be one of the good 105s in the country if he wants it, because he works hard. There's nothing about that. He works hard.
He hasn't really grown into his man body yet.
And if the thing is, this is ridiculous. If I tell him to do something, he does it.
Yep.
So after nationals, he got fat. I remember, like, I'd see him in the gym drinking like a liter of orange juice.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Atta
all
boy.
right. I'm like,
Atta
I do that, right? I can't
Yeah.
talk. I'll put like 300 grams of yogurt into a shaker bottle and then just fill the rest up with OJ.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I do that stuff. I can't talk. But I'm kind of thinking, I'm like, you're substantially smaller than I am.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I was like, hey, what do you weigh after nationals? And he's like, I'm like 255 right now. I'm like,
Yes.
what? So I told him, I was like, you're competing next year as a 105. Get yourself down to 230 pounds slowly.
Yep.
And eat your protein.
Yep.
And
He does it.
15 weeks later,
Yep.
boom.
Nice.
So I'm like, okay, this is great. Like, he listens to what I tell him to do. It's just that I have to tell him what to do.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So, but he
needs
is
guidance. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's one of those.
I don't
guys
picture
where,
him like us, like researching and immersed in the knowledge part of it, which
he
is
does,
what it is.
He does want
if
to
it's not your thing.
learn,
Yeah.
but also
Oh,
too,
yeah.
like,
But the obsession.
He works. He has school that he's still finishing up, so he doesn't have the time for it. But I also don't know if he knows where to start.
That's true. Yep.
Because, and the thing too is because nowadays there's so much out there. He like send me things and ask me questions about them, which is great. So I know he's curious.
Yep.
But I think he's
Oh,
just
it shows that
content
he's interested,
to,
right? Not just doing it just because he's strong.
Yeah.
He's legit interested. Yeah.
Yeah, but I also just like the fact that like he just listens to me and he's trusting that I know what I'm doing.
Right.
Which is bold given I've been doing this for 11 months.
And you're half retarded.
Yes, exactly. So he's been doing good. I'm not really concerned about him, but yeah, it'll be an interesting year for him. But I'll be curious to see what everyone else does, because I mean, like, it's going to be a weird year where they have a little more of a gap between Tolstoy and their second qualifier this year.
Right.
I think.
Well, would Manitoba
Because
Strongest
usually-
Man be
well, usually-
an option for him?
I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah, I'd have to look at the events again.
I just don't think it's worth it.
No.
You know what I mean? I'd rather just get them generally strong and technical.
Well,
in the
you
main
got to
events.
use worth it in a tongue in cheek, right? What's worth it? Not going there to expect to be competitive and win, but going there to move the heavier implements in a show in front of people. Is it worth it? I don't know. But does it fit the timeline? Does it
That's
fit
what I
this?
mean.
Does it fit that? You know?
The timeline's kind of weird, especially after Tulsa. I'd like to just jump into a full development because we got to have a really good hypertrophy offseason.
If he's
block
okay with
him.
doing the mundane, boring stuff and doesn't need to be excited,
literally
you know what I
doesn't
mean?
care.
Yeah.
But I think too is like
As long as he's enjoying it, right? Because it is hard when you're new to something, like say Shelby.
Yeah.
When you're new to something, you want to play with the heavyweights all the time. When you scale it back for 4 to 6 weeks of something that's not fun, it's hard to stay interested because you're not sure. I don't even know what to say there. Like you don't have the thrill of the shows under your belt to be like, okay, this was thrilling. I want to work towards getting better at this. She doesn't have any shows in her, so she doesn't have the thrill. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's the thing where even now, like she's saying, oh, like her hips flaring up again. 'Cause she just had this weird hip thing that flares up occasionally, and it's like amazing how as soon as we pulled back a little bit and let the body rest, that was clearly something that your body was just masking. When we were under heavy
that's exactly where I'm at
why
right
you
now.
need to pull back.
Because I've pulled six months of feeling amazing.
Yeah.
To now I'm like I'm a
Well,
disaster
and the
right
other
now.
thing is, so like you can run strength blocks like back to back to back for a very long time in most novice intermediate lifters.
Right.
But she's been running strength blocks for almost a year straight now.
Right.
Because like things have been just going, and we've pulled back a couple times. We've rotated through, deloaded. But like this is the first time where
She's
I've
hitting
really
serious
pulled
numbers.
back.
Like her deadlifts are
Well,
that's all
that's what I
serious
mean.
stuff. So
Like,
it's not
serious numbers.
There's not a whole lot of the progression now. The now moving that top line is hard. It's not
It's
as
like
easy.
You're,
you know what I mean?
strong now.
Yeah,
And
because
that's
what
why
a couple
now
months ago we're like, whatever, throw 20 more pounds on the bar and pull it, you know. And then it was like the next week it was like, throw 20 more on and pull it again, you know.
But now she's strong enough to fatigue herself.
Well, now you're getting up to those 300 pound plus deadlifts.
Yeah. But even at the point now, it's like the plan is to get her down into the 83, 84, 82 kilo, whatever.
Yeah.
But her and Aaron will be competing against each other, and like it'll be a fun fight because like
Yeah.
Shelby beats her on all the pressing events, Aaron beats her on the deadlift, and then moving
then it's
events
points.
they're fairly evenly matched. So it's like, oh, this will be kind of fun to see.
Yeah.
I know they just adore each other because girl talk. So it's like it'll be a good battle.
It's fun to have. It's hard when there's not a lot of competition.
No,
It's
I
fun
know-
when there's competition and you're focused on yourself. You're like, it doesn't matter what that guy does.
Yeah.
I have to do what I have to do, you know?
Yes. But I was like, Manitobans, would you guys please sign up for some shows? Because, like, Tyler's really having a hard time, I think, with the fact that we don't have full weight classes right now.
Right. How many
last-
people signed up do we have?
I don't know how many.
Tolstoy.
But like I said, I think even just the open class, I think he's bummed about that.
Okay.
Because it's like, historically, it's been our most competitive class,
Yeah.
right? So now it's like, well, now that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And I think he's taking it a little harder than he should because
Right.
like he's thinking, oh well, like Devin retired and then no one's signing up, and it's like,
That's not
hey,
personal.
man,
It's
that's
not
not
personal.
what it is.
Yeah.
It's not personal.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, like you, I would argue, have leveled out
Yep.
of local shows. Joe has leveled out of
Yep.
the local shows.
Yep.
I am not eligible for the local shows.
Yeah. Dan's not eligible.
Dan's not eligible, but Bushi's off doing Bushi things.
Yeah.
Brian's hurt.
Yeah.
So like there's 3 of your open class right there.
Yeah.
It's like be gentle on yourself.
Yeah. Well, that was a fun year.
Yeah.
Look at Tolstoy last year. It was you,
That was a
Brian,
great show.
Pat, won.
Last year was
at 230 pounds.
probably, I still just remember that. After that sandbag throw.
Yeah.
But like, man, last year was, I think that's the thing, is that last year was such a great
Last year was an
season.
exceptional year because the year before was definitely not like that.
No, it was such a genuinely exciting year. Like from the novice show between me and Brian there, all the way through. Like, in what year would you have? It was March Madness.
Yep.
I beat Brian. Pat beats me. I
Yep.
beat Tyler. Tyler beats me.
Yep.
Jeremy beats me. I beat Dan. Like we're all over the place, and then I win nationals, and it's like that. It after such a high of that.
Yep.
And I mean, you and Joe had your own little arcs. I mean, Joe wins
the strongest
MSW,
woman. Yep.
right?
Yep.
Then she goes to OSG and kills. I mean, you had some awesome showings of your own, and then went and put on a show at OSG. And it's like you had all of this exciting things happening in Manitoba Strongman.
Yep.
We'd have to have a
It's hard to
pretty
beat, yeah.
exceptional year
Yeah.
to beat that.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
Yeah, that
maybe
could
the
be a
registration
historic year
isn't
for
what it
sure,
used to be, but like, it's early in the year. There's still time to register.
Yep.
It's disappointing that maybe we don't have full podiums yet, but like they will fill.
Yep.
They will fill.
Yep.
And also too, just like I said, last year was so much fun. It's just it's going to be hard to match that.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Well, maybe the challenge has to go for people to move up weight classes. If you're a U90 lifter and you want to hang with the 105s, go hang with the 105s. Like it's not. I did it last year. I could have been a lightweight master. I could have been a 105 I could have been a lightweight master, and then I could have been a 105 athlete, but I went in with the 120s. So why not? Like I didn't have anything to earn or lose. So it was just whatever. I wanted to push the heavier weights, so I just whatever. Let's try it. You know what I mean? Still got second, but yep. And there was a couple guys in that group that were big boys. Yeah, Mark Schramm was in there as a big boy.
Schramm is getting really strong.
Oh,
too.
that's a dark horse for 105 too.
How is he 105 or 120?
I think he's going to get in 105 this year. Yeah.
Schramm, tell me what's going on. I'll just ask.
Well, I pulled 600 in December. I think he just posted there. Pulled
Something
600.
like that. Yeah. Again,
put up
it's
a
like,
good log
I
at the
see
log
people's
comp.
posts, but
Yep.
I lose track.
He's a generally good at everything kind of guy.
He did impress
farmer
me with the
strength,
log
farmer.
comp because like he is a lanky dude.
Yep.
Like, but he's strong. He's got that farmer strength. So no, I
Yeah.
can see
So
him
he
doing
could be.
really
Yeah.
well.
That's. I'm
'cause,
sorry.
like,
I'm
it's-
sorry, Mark. I forgot about you.
It's nice to see him healthy.
Tag us more in your lifting.
It's nice to see him healthy this year, though.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So that would be.
It's all
I'm
that
curious
beef.
to see what he does this year. Yeah. All that
The
shrimp.
Shram
beef.
Calico beef.
Yeah. So.
I bought some. It's pretty good. It's definitely lean. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
I cooked it with some regular beef, just to cut it a little bit, and it soaked up the fat from my regular beef. It like wanted the fat. It's like, give me the fat back, you know?
But you can taste the quality in it for sure.
Oh yeah, it's for sure.
Makes you
if you want lean beef, that is the leanest beef you can buy for sure. There was almost no grease. I cooked them on the Blackstone beside each other there, and I had fat from one, and the other one was like sticking to the grill almost. You almost had to pan the grill a little bit. Yeah.
You're adding seed oils to your beef?
No, I don't use seed oils. I don't want to die.
This episode's sponsored by RFK.
Yeah. No, so that'll be, him and Jesse will have fun because he's got the bull brute strength and Jesse's the technical lifter, technical, fast.
Yeah,
that'll be a fun one to watch. Yeah. I think, I don't know. I told Tyler I'd ref. He said, yeah, but I don't know if that's still a thing or not. But
I told him I would ref if he needed it.
Yeah.
The thing is, with my new work schedule being Tuesday to Saturday, it kind of screws me for everything.
Yeah. I like reffing because you're right in there. You're right in the mix.
I wanted to ref this year.
You get the best seat in the house. Yep.
So I was excited for it. I told him, hey, if you need it, like, let me know. I'll take a personal day. But it's just, I only get so much PTO, and with my competition schedule this year, I'm gonna have to stretch it. So
you can only call in sick so many times when you're not sick.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you're for sure going to end up on the internet.
Absolutely. Yeah. With my luck, someone will bail something and I'll have to Zercher it.
Yeah.
Zercher an axle from 7 feet in the air or something. But
how funny was it? Who was it that we ran into? I saw that video. Oh,
there were a couple.
Rogue.
Oh, yeah.
Sam. The guy at Rogue, Sam. Yeah.
Good old Sam. I wonder if Sam listens.
Wow, this one time I caught this Zercher. That was you, he says? I've seen that video.
Yeah. There were a couple people who I was talking to over the weekend, and just Billy just didn't know it was me.
Oh, really?
And then we were talking at Nationals about it, and he's like, oh, like, how'd you get in a strongman? I was like, well, I caught a Zercher. He's like, that was you? I'm just like, dude, we've known each other for like, 6 months at this point. You'd think you would have put two and two together. It's
been on your story how many times? Yeah, keep resharing it,
reposting every couple of weeks. It goes up somewhere, but well, that was funny. So, but yeah, it sucks. I wanted the ref, but we'll kind of see. I'll probably still take Tolstoy off just because I've got guys flying in.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Now that I know Tyler's flying in, I'll book a personal that week.
Yeah.
Maybe I will ref because I just don't frankly think you need much coaching.
No, there's not a lot you can do mid-show. You know what I mean? No. It's not like a powerlifting competition where you're strategizing or your next lift. You're going in there, hammer at it. There's not
really anything to take off of someone's plate. Like powerlifting, it's like, okay, I'm going to load your warm-ups and take your numbers.
Yeah.
You don't get warm-ups.
Yeah.
It's strongman. You don't get warm-ups.
You get a little band there, you give a couple of those, and away you go. You're throwing a 900-pound yoke on your back and running across the parking lot.
Yeah, exactly. It's simple. It works. Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see. I would like to ref, though, just because I think I'd be mean.
I'm going to be mean.
Yeah.
Yep.
Strict. I'll be strict.
Yeah, if you think you're locked out there, you're not.
Yeah. But, well, hold it for a second.
Yeah.
Lucas Haddon, that man knows how to lock it out.
Absolutely.
If you're giving me if I can't see your eyes, you're not getting it.
No.
Partially because I think that's what the rules are, and partially because if I gave someone a rep and their eyes weren't looking at me, I'd never hear the end of it from Jeffers.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I would never hear the end of it. So.
I agree, though. You got to have full control. Yeah. Not
deep,
just like
intimate eye contact.
Nothing weird. Kind of weird.
Definitely. Hold it just long enough
to be weird.
Could be weird.
Yeah, that somebody gets a picture of it and it's loving. Yes. We can make it into a meme.
Exactly. We need more memes. We had good memes last year.
Yeah.
So me and Pat on the podium.
That's right.
Then we got that
Pat's
me
banana.
And Jeremy and Bushi with our medals doing the Olympic thing last year. I still have it on my phone. It's so cute. Very cute podium.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, most handsome open men's division.
Yeah.
But
what do we have for time? We doing okay?
We're just over an hour. Okay. Time flies.
We're still going.
Good at this. I'm still good to go.
I got nothing.
There's not really a whole lot left.
We could talk about westerns a little bit, or we could talk about we could talk about your westerns, my westerns. We could talk about Manitoba Strongest Man.
That's what I was kind of saying is because we've got I got Keystone, then we got Tolstoy, then we have
one thing I wanted to talk about. I did make some notes here.
Oh, okay.
I know I don't want to cut you off.
You made notes.
But I was listening to the Manitoba Power Pod. Shout out to those boys. Good job.
Yep.
But I don't know.
Dramatically improved their audio.
Well, I was listening to the recaps from Nationals and stuff like that, and it seemed like people had a rough time. Did you get that kind of feedback? Like, more people had a bad time than had a good time. No?
Honestly, I haven't really had a chance to catch up.
Yeah. That's what I caught. And then it got me thinking about this coach thing or whatever. And I'm not gonna dog on the MPA. I just want to talk about how they do it. So they have how many coaches for Nationals for the entire week? Was there 3?
I want to say 3.
So
I want to say 3.
how do you feel about that? Like, if I was going to nationals, I want my coach.
So
And I want my coach because my coach knows me, and my coach knows, like, if Devin's in the warm-up room and he sees something that he's watched me deadlift 1,000 times, and he sees my deadlift not moving properly, he's like, hey, whoa, you know what I mean? He sees stuff that I don't see, and then we can have a discussion from there. So if I have some coach that doesn't know me, and he's like, how'd that feel? It felt okay. Whereas my coach would be like, what the fuck's wrong? You know what I mean?
yeah, I think that on game day, if something's off technically, you're just gonna have to deal with it.
Yep.
And that's
But
where
you're going to have to deal with it, but should you lower your numbers?
my argument would be that your opener should already be low enough that even if you're having the worst day, it should be fine.
Yep. I agree with that too.
That's always been my thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like even if you're having a
But I just
crappy
feel, I
warm-up,
almost feel bad for these coaches that, like, and they're good guys. Tommy's a good guy. I don't know who the other guys were, but they're
I
all,
think it was
seasoned.
Nelson, and I
Yeah.
think Dino was helping as well.
Yeah,
I think
they're all
both
good guys.
hosts
They're very good coaches. But
Yep.
what happens when you have lifters that you don't really know?
I think that a lot of these lifters, I'm not going to put on the coaches. I'm going to put on the lifters.
No, I'm not putting it on the coaches
when
for sure.
I went to,
I'm putting it on the way it is.
So I went to Westerns in 2021 in Richmond. It was kind of, just went out, had a little comeback meet.
Yep.
And I ended up missing out on the podium, or on the win, by 2.5 kilos.
Right.
Because Chris Sue and Andrew Sue? I think Sue. I can't remember. Massive deadlifter out of BC.
Okay.
And then Andrew Stewart, who I've known for years now, they beat me out on a tie at 2.5 kilos.
Okay.
I thought I needed 300 for the win.
Yeah.
I only needed 290.
Right.
Based on how 285 had moved, 290 would have moved.
Yeah.
Again, it's a what if, can't say.
Right.
I was so confident in that number that that's the number I wanted to put in. The coach was relatively inexperienced and wasn't tracking the scores, so he didn't know to correct me.
Right.
Is what it is.
Yeah. I don't feel like that would be a mistake that was made now. I feel like
but
the
my
end.
point-
The end. Go ahead.
My point being is, like, how was he supposed to know that 300 wasn't a lock for me?
Right.
Right? So I'd say, like, these lifters are coming in, I would think, underprepared as to what they know to hit. And so, good example is, let's say, like, so Dan Hershrigan, right?
Okay.
And yes, that's roughly how you pronounce his name. No one actually knows.
Just mumble.
Dan. He was basically rehearsing his numbers.
Right.
At the point where, like, he's benched 500 pounds. I think he put up 484 or something for the win.
Right.
But he was rehearsing those numbers, like,
Yeah.
for weeks and weeks.
Yeah,
and
there are
weeks.
the obsessive powerlifters
But-
like you and I aren't going to make that mistake.
Well, but not even, I just couldn't handle that load. But he was just literally maxing out and hitting those numbers every single week, rehearsing.
Right.
So when he went out, it was just another training session.
Right.
He was prepared. He knew what he had to hit.
But his top numbers were already good enough to win.
Yes.
He knew it.
But I think a lot of
But when you're
lifters-
jockeying for those lower spots and you're within 2.5, 5 kilos out of a podium or something like that, that's where
That's
I
where the
feel like having
coaching
your own
comes in.
coach would be better.
Well,
Maybe not. Maybe not on the
and-
top numbers, but
yes and no. Because, like, I think when it comes to the jockeying, for example, I know how to get a lifter strong.
Mm-hmm.
I have no interest in learning that game day coaching.
okay. I was
will-
super interested.
I will give numbers and say, look, here's what my lifter is capable of today. Do with it as you will.
Right.
But I would very happily hand a lifter off to James Cornelson and say, call his numbers on the day.
Yeah.
Like, I'll tell you where to start. I'll tell you where to go. But I'm going to leave it up to you as to what the third attempt is or where we need to be to jockey for position.
Yep.
That's up to you.
We had
Now, I'm old school, where to me, if I'm paying for a meet, I'm not leaving kilos on the table.
yeah.
I would rather, I don't have any interest in winning a national title, but wasting a peak.
So you just want to win by more.
Yeah. And it's just, so let's say, like,
So every show you look at as your best show, not necessarily as what I got to do to win.
I was a power lifter for linear progress over a long period of time.
Yep.
I have no interest in regressing my total
Yep.
to, quote, win.
No, I agree with that. Yep.
Because, like, here's the thing. If someone
But
wins-
on game day,
someone-
if you didn't need it, would you still go for it? Say third deadlift, you already have the win, and you don't even have to pull a third. Are you going to pull it? Are you going to pull it anyway?
PR.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, hey, look,
I'm curious.
if
I don't
my
know.
coach sits me down
Yep.
and says, hey, like, we're going to pull for the win
Yep.
because we're going to go to Worlds, I'm like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to really relish that victory.
Right.
Because, again, to me, like, I got into powerlifting to beat myself.
So that being said, you're pulling for the win, but you could pull 10 kgs more. But instead, you pull back 10 kgs for the win.
I will always defer to my coach.
Yeah.
So if coach says this is what we're pulling, I go,
I'm not happy about
more
it.
in me.
Yeah.
But if that's what we're pulling, that's what we're pulling.
Right.
So to me, powerlifting was always about chasing the total.
Yeah.
And I'm not really worried about titles or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like people are like, oh, like so-and-so's the GOAT because they've won 10 world titles. I went, yeah, but their total hasn't improved in 5 years.
Yeah. And how many other people were on those podiums?
Right.
Yeah.
That's
We
where
won't
I'm
go
like,
there.
no, it's, yeah, exactly.
But no, I was just curious because I'm thinking like you've got 3 people, which is an overwhelming load. I've been to she was in Westerns, she was in Nationals. I was there. I didn't really find it that there was too many. Like the thing is, there's too many people in the back. Never really found that. But that being said, we were in Westerns, and I think we had that third attempt where we changed because I knew the game, and I really love that game where you're watching. I'm watching everybody else, and even now I still do it with strongman or whatever. I'm always watching everybody else and where I sit, very much like Devin. That's kind of why we are what we are. And then we did the third attempt change, and we ended up pulling for the win at Westerns, I believe it was. Don't quote me on that. I'm not good at the years, but it was a big deal. We did the third change or whatever, and it jockeyed position. That lady had to go first, and all of a sudden everything was flustered. We pulled, got the win.
Yeah.
I would have hated for me to miss out on that opportunity. Me sitting in the crowd going, I would be doing this right now, and they're not doing it. Just on the fact that 3 people are trying to handle 40 lifters or 30 lifters.
It depends on the venue, but also it depends on availability too. I mean, like the reality is, hey, look, like Guy is probably the most experienced powerlifting coach in the province. Well, he is.
Yeah.
He is. I'll say that.
Yep.
I don't think anyone would argue that. He's been doing it the longest, maybe other than like Brock, but Brock's not even really a coach. He just has been doing it for a long time. But it's like, if I could have Guy at everything, that'd be great. But at the same time, too, like he's got a wife and kids.
Yeah, you can't come to BC at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, he just can't.
No, but that being said,
I would love to have him in the back.
Yeah.
My best performances are when he's in the back.
But do you feel like it's pulled too far back to too little coach? I'm sure you can, and I know they call for coaches all the time and they want more, but they've put so many stipulations on how to be a coach. The people are like, wow, I don't really want, like, if I was going to pay for the coaching fee, I want to coach my own athlete. I don't want to take on 10 more.
But that's kind of part of it is that, like, I won't be taking the course.
No.
I have no interest in doing that.
Especially if you have to pay.
Yeah.
That's
I
silly,
only have one true powerlifter right now. The rest are strongman athletes.
Yeah.
If he told me, hey, I want to do provincials and I want you there,
I'll be there.
Fine. I'll go pay the $30, whatever. But like, again, I just as happily hand him off. He trains at Cornerstone.
Yeah.
I just as happily say, James, here's the game.
But
plan.
you would still, you would still attend. And the
I'd still
conversation
attend.
could still be had. Okay, how's it
conversation still
feeling?
happens,
How's it feeling? Oh, whatever felt great last week doesn't feel so great. Okay, well, let's talk about your numbers now.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's where you can have a conversation with somebody who knows.
But also, too, at the local level, the stronger person wins.
Oh, yeah.
At the local level, there is no jockeying for position.
No.
I mean, maybe some
two
people
per
do,
weight
like
class
the
half the time.
Junior 83 kilo men. Maybe
No, it was like I felt bad for those coaches because I'm like, you're almost shot in the foot before you got started because now you're taking responsibility for
very, very busy week for them.
Oh,
so I wouldn't want to do
Dino
it.
was trying to lift in there too. Like he was coaching and lifting. I'm like,
so was James, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
good for you guys for loving the sport so much. I'd be like,
I just
blow my head off.
I just couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Like I said, especially if I was competing as an athlete, I'm way too selfish to do that.
Yeah.
So no, I'm here for me as an athlete.
I agree.
No, not doing it.
No, if I'm traveling out of town there and I'm prepping for weeks and weeks and weeks and I had to go help somebody else, sorry guys, I'm out. You know what I mean?
It's one of those things. I mean, I'm not a fan of all the things that powerlifting has done in recent years, but at the end of the day, that's the sport.
Yeah, they deal with it. They seem to deal with it.
I mean,
they seem to keep doing it, so it's growing. They've got how many active members? So it was just a conversation piece. I was just listening, and I'm like, man, this is something seems off there.
Yeah, the coaches, but to be fair too, and like this is also, I want to choose my words carefully.
Heaven forbid we offend people.
Yes.
If you're offended, sorry, I didn't mean it.
No, I mean every word. There's not that many coaches in Manitoba who I would say have the experience and the powerlifting intellect to go and coach at that level. There are a lot of lifters who are very strong, who are coached by coaches who maybe have done one or two meets and say, I'm a coach now. And they just find some genetic anomaly, and that's how it works. But when it comes to that game day strategy, there's really only 4 or 5 people in the province I would trust. And then if 2 of those people can't attend, then those 3 people are the best people for the job. I respect that. But on the other hand, I think if we had 10 or 12 people who... Because the thing is, you can take a course, that doesn't mean you're qualified to coach.
No.
Right, like it's that experience. Like, there's a reason Garrett Bentley, right? I think he's coached... Is it Garrett Bentley who's coached the national team?
I'm not sure.
I think it's him. Like, I know Shannon Much has worked with him multiple times at nationals, at international level shows. It's just saying, it's like he is the best in the business when it comes to tracking the numbers and stuff.
Right.
You kind of have to give him you give him like, hey, here's my table of what I expect I can hit today.
Right.
Let's play the game off of that. But when it comes to that experience of, hey, I've done this for 5, 6, 7 years at that level, and you know what everyone else, because the other thing too is you have to be somewhat in the weeds of knowing what everyone else is capable of.
Oh yeah.
In Manitoba right now, there's only really 4 or 5 people who I think are trustworthy and experienced enough to do that. And then if only a couple of them are able to go, it is what it is. It's not right, and we should have a bigger coaching staff. Because, again, you have 40, 50 lifters.
That's where, again, I mean, it's just your normal coach already knows those other 3 lifters in your category, whereas somebody new is like, okay, I don't know these guys. Like, what kind of numbers are they putting up? You know, what do you need? Or the conversations that I feel like is almost not nice to make somebody have those decisions. It's almost,
it's a lot of pressure.
Almost rude. It's a lot of pressure on somebody.
For lifters that they don't regularly coach.
I agree.
And you got to do all the scouting, but I guess that's part of it. Is you kind of. It's also easy to scout now.
Yeah, the internet.
I mean, you got like Red Plates podcast and those guys. Like, there's enough people out there who are doing prediction videos and stuff.
Right.
Where you can kind of roughly gauge it. But it is hard, and it's a really difficult position to put those guys in. So, you have our sympathy, gentlemen.
We do. Massive respect for doing it.
I don't want to do it.
I wouldn't do it.
It's not,
I wouldn't
not something I'm interested in. But I like getting people really strong. But when it comes to those little games and stuff, I'm like, for my clients, it's like, did you PR your total? If one of my clients got to that level, then okay, maybe I'd start paying more attention. But
did you PR your total? Show me your videos. You might add 5 more kilos in the tank. That's about it. You can tell by somebody's third pull if there was more or not.
The other thing too, though, honestly, is like, well, here's another interesting question. So, I don't know. So let's say someone like Justin came to me and said, hey, I'd like you to coach me. I don't think I'd take him on.
Right.
Not because I don't think that I could continue to improve his game, but because the needs of an athlete that advanced take too much away from my own training.
And your other athletes too.
Not even that. It's more just, I mean, I could take on more lifters. I don't. I don't advertise because I have my core little group and it works.
Right.
But my lifters are pretty much all novice to intermediate.
Right.
Some of them are starting to get into advanced territory, but we've built them from intermediate towards that advanced territory where I know what they respond to already. I'm not putting in additional work trying to mesh previous training systems. And I always tell, like, if you're coming to me, it's a clean slate and we're doing it my way. That's what you're coming to me for. If you want to do it elsewhere, I will happily recommend you to other people.
Don't tell me how you're going to train.
Yes. When it comes to like...
No, I'm going to do it like this. See you later.
But it's... If I had a lifter who was competitive at that national level, it's hard to say if that's a lifter I would take on
Do you feel like you
Given-
take on responsibility at all?
That would be the issue for me. It's
Yeah.
because like I tie. If my lifters don't hit PRs, like I take it personally.
Yeah.
When I have lifters who are a little more casual, where I've got some people where it's like, hey, like my work stresses me out. I'm just doing this for fun. It's a hobby. I'm just
Yep.
getting back into it. It's lower stress for me when the stakes get
Yeah, because
higher
they have
like
no
that.
expectations. Yeah, they're not having fits when they miss stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But also it's like I have to hold myself to such a high performance standard
Right.
that I don't need the stress of worrying about someone else's high performance standard.
Yep.
If my lifters are just steadily getting better and they're improving and they're happy,
Yep.
that's a great reward for me. But I get more reward of teaching intermediates to be really strong
Yep.
than like creating champions. I'm trying to create a champion already.
Yeah.
I don't want to create 3 more. You know,
I'm selfish.
And it's like, well, but it's like you have like
I
a
wanna
guy
be
like
better, yeah.
you have a guy like Alec, right?
Okay.
Well, like his whole thing is coaching.
Yep.
But if he were trying to compete at that level,
And coach. Yeah.
would he? Right?
Yeah. Oh, Wayne Gretzky's a good hockey player.
Terrible coach.
Terrible coach.
So I think for me,
So just
it's-
because your coach isn't an elite lifter doesn't mean he's a bad coach by any means.
no, and,
Yeah.
and honestly, like a lot of elite lifters are awful coaches.
Yeah.
Like, hey, look, that if your coach is a 19-year-old who lifted for 3 months and pulled 700 pounds at 74 kilos,
Yep.
probably not a great coach. He's probably just a genetic freak,
Yeah.
right? Doesn't mean
Yeah.
you're going to learn anything from him.
Yeah.
But I mean, it seems to
agree.
be something that we've lost with the social media era where you used to have really good coaches
Yep.
and really good athletes,
Yep.
and they were not the same.
Well, yeah. Now just anybody's signing up. CanFit Pro. I'm a coach. I'm a trainer. I'm a this. I'm a that. And you
Well,
go
I-
into Good Life and you see these trainers and you're like, oh, that's not a trainer. You're just hanging out with a clipboard watching me do step downs. What are we doing here?
And
you know?
you got some really good. There have been people who are. I mean, Mike Teixeira jumps to mind as someone who's excelled at both.
Yeah.
Bryce Lewis jumps to mind as someone who's excelled at both.
Yeah.
Bryce Krawchuk
Yeah.
jumps to mind as someone who's excelled at both.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, Garrett Bentley,
Yep.
is excelled at both.
Yeah.
But I do think
They also
that,
have the years.
Yes.
Lots of years.
I think we've, in a way, lost some of the beauty of what it used to be a coach. So, like, when we were at West Side there, they've got the wall
Yep.
of people who've passed on, and Louis front and center, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, hey, if you go to Russia back in the Soviet days, it's like, Shaiko was coach,
Oh, yeah. Coaches are held in high regard.
right? They were held in high regard, and they were held to a high standard.
Yeah.
And we've crossed the line now where, and it's a good thing too, where now athletes can make a living coaching.
Yeah.
Some of them do a very good job of it. Some of them have a hard time balancing it. It's all individual.
Some of them just don't know what they're doing. It's cut and dry.
But-
It's
and some people are just really
you're
good at-
coaching, and you should absolutely not be coaching. You don't know how to lift yourself. You don't know how to program yourself. You should not be helping other people,
And-
especially if you're taking
but
money.
there's also-
Shame on you.
But there's also a difference too in knowing how to program and then knowing the why.
Yeah.
Because anyone can just program.
Oh yeah, I can
But
make it. I
it's-
can give you 4 exercises, pick them off the top of my head, and somebody like, oh yeah, it's a good program.
Yeah, and you progress it week
But
over
why?
week,
Yeah.
whatever.
What's the big picture? You know what I mean?
But the other thing too is what happens when something goes wrong or changes or you tweak something. You have to pull back and adjust. And that's where the coaching comes in. And there's some people who can do it very, very well. Matt Vena jumps to mind. Great guy.
Yep.
Bryce Krawchuk jumps to mind. Great lifter, great coach. But there's a
My
lot
coach
of
is okay. Deals with some curveballs. Week to week curveballs.
Devin plays more therapist than he does coach half the time with you. But I don't know. It's one of those. Coaching's interesting because I do enjoy coaching.
Yep.
It's not my whole thing.
Right.
I said I will give my clients 100%,
Yep.
but if it ever got to the point where I found
You coach because
coaching-
you love to coach.
I coach because I love to coach,
Yeah.
and I coach people I like to coach.
Yep.
There are people in this province who I would not coach.
100%. Yeah.
I would never tell them who they are.
Yeah.
Unless they ask me.
Let's say ask me.
But I just,
Am I one of them?
I would just be magically full. But
Yeah.
there.
Is that why you wouldn't coach me?
I wouldn't coach you because we're friends. Same reason we wouldn't road trip to Ohio together.
Yeah, we want to stay friends.
Yes, exactly. Sometimes distance makes the heart grow fonder. But
We can road
it's
trip just in separate cars.
There you go.
That works.
That might be the plan for
That
OSG.
works. Yeah.
But yeah.
But no, yeah, that's
I think it's just interesting. But if you were to tell me, like, if I decided tomorrow I didn't like coaching anymore, I'd wrap out the months and I'd just move on.
yeah.
I said big athlete first, coach second.
Yep.
But I'm also just good at compartmentalizing those things, right? Like, hey, during these hours to these hours, I'm an athlete.
Yep.
During the rest of the time, I'm your coach.
Yep.
But during these hours, this is for me.
Yeah, this is my me time.
And if I ever found that coaching started spilling into that,
Yeah.
I'd stop coaching.
Right.
Because again, being an athlete is priority.
Yep.
Now down the line, as I develop and there's more balance, maybe that skews. But maybe
Yep.
long term, the goal would be to do more coaching so I can be at the gym more frequently and kind of build out an Iron Image roster.
Right.
Right. And Tom and I have talked about that. And again, I've said, I'd like to figurehead that. I'm happy to do that.
Yep.
But also I just have to be careful that I'm not doing it at the expense of my athletic performance.
Oh yeah.
That's
Or your
number
own
one for me.
personal happiness. Like if it becomes once it becomes work, then it's a problem. Yeah. As long as you're doing it because you enjoy it, it's not a means to pay your bills. It's a means for some extra cash, but it's
an
not a
extra
be all
cash.
end all. It's not your career.
No,
you know
as I said, my job pays me very well.
Yep.
I'm not. The coaching is not what's paying my mortgage.
No, that's pocket money for traveling.
Yes, exactly. Well, no.
Yeah, it's pocket money
Nowadays
to start.
it's a meal.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it is what it is. So
It is what it is, that's for sure.
that's an hour and a half ish. So I think we'll
Yeah,
wrap
we can
her up
cover. We
there.
still got a couple weeks left. We can cover some more stuff coming up.
Yeah, well, so we'll have to do a Westerns preview show closer to, and
Yeah.
maybe we'll do a show for each of ours.
Sure.
I'm sure we'll
Yeah.
do a Tolstoy recap.
Yeah.
But if you have anything you want us to talk about, let us know.
Bring it on. If there's something you did fun that you want us to talk about, let's do it.
Yeah, if you think we're ugly, tell us. If you think we suck,
Yeah.
tell us. If you think we're
I'm
great,
beautiful.
tell us.
I already tell me that, so
That's true. Yeah. So, anyways, but
Hope you enjoyed.
That's it for today.
keep tagging us. Bring those tags back.
Yeah,
Like, share,
actually,
tell your
real quick,
friends.
you have to put it as a mention.
Yep.
You can't just write at Strength Shop Pod. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I noticed that with my Langlaw SC. I've noticed that with Strength Shop. And I've noticed with Iron Image even, where if you
Right.
tag it just in the text, it will not come
Yeah,
through.
sometimes when people tag me,
Yeah,
it doesn't
you
show up.
have
I'll be
to-
scrolling through their story and be like,
See,
oh,
you're
you
like, wait a
tagged me in
minute.
this? Yeah.
You have to use the mention sticker. It's annoying. If
You can hide it.
If you're over
Hide it
the
behind
age
your
of
text,
40,
yeah.
I will walk you through it in the DMs.
I
It's
figured it out. You
okay.
can figure it out.
Yes, it's true. He's fat thumbs and technologically
That's
illiterate,
right, and
so-
half retarded on a good day.
Absolutely. Okay, but yeah, so keep tagging us,
Yep.
and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, baby.